The small coastal town of Evermore had always been cloaked in mist, but on this night the fog seemed thicker, almost sentient. The lighthouse, which usually stood as a beacon of safety, was dark. No one had seen Old Ben, the lighthouse keeper, in days. Mara, a young woman new to Evermore, had heard the locals' whispers about the lighthouse being haunted. Dismissing them as superstitions, she decided to investigate. The town's narrow, cobbled streets felt like they were closing in on her as she walked towards the lighthouse. The crashing waves seemed louder, more ominous. As Mara approached the lighthouse, she saw a dim, flickering light through the windows. Pushing open the creaking door, she stepped inside. The air was cold and damp, the scent of salt and decay heavy. She called out for Old Ben, but only silence answered. Climbing the spiraling staircase, each step groaned under her weight. Halfway up, she found a trail of wet footprints leading up to the top. Her heart pounded, and her breath quickened. When she reached the lantern room, she saw a figure huddled in the corner, facing the wall. "Old Ben?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The figure slowly turned, revealing hollow, sunken eyes and a face twisted in fear. It was Old Ben, but his skin was pallid, almost translucent, and his mouth moved as if trying to speak, yet no sound came out. Mara stepped closer, and that's when she noticed the book he clutched to his chest, a weathered ancient tome. Before she could react, the pages of the book began to flip wildly on their own. A chill swept through the room, and the light in the lantern grew brighter, almost blinding. Out of the pages rose dark, shadowy figures, their eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. They swirled around Mara, whispering her name in voices that seemed to come from the depths of the ocean. Paralyzed with fear, Mara watched as the shadows enveloped Old Ben, pulling him into the book. His scream echoed through the room, a sound that would haunt Mara forever. The figures then turned their attention to her, their whispers growing louder, more insistent. Mara tried to run, but the shadows closed in, their icy fingers brushing against her skin. As darkness consumed her, the last thing she saw was the lighthouse's beacon finally lighting up, casting its eerie glow over the misty town, warning the inhabitants of Evermore that something far more sinister than fog had taken hold.